Hello and welcome to Art with Mr. P. This week we're going to be looking at collage again, and you'll probably remember that collage is very much about cutting and sticking, but it's also a very good way of producing instant colour and instant texture and using all sorts of interesting bits and pieces that we find to make an interesting composition on the page. And by composition I mean how we arrange the bits and pieces on the page and make decisions about how they look. So collage this week, cutting and sticking. Let's do it. So we're going to produce a collage of a tree. Now I did have a look at Gustav Klimt's Tree of Life. Lots of artists have produced trees and pictures of something called the Tree of Life. But what I'd like you to do is just to collage a tree. You decide what grows in the tree. Now I remember reading a book once that had baby's dummies growing in a tree, which is quite interesting. But anyway. Alright, so for the trunk I'm looking for something fairly rough. And I found this corrugated card. And I think I can peel off the top layer carefully like this, and I can reveal the roughness under these lines and roughness underneath. Now, remember, collage is very much about texture, and even if you can't feel that, you can imagine what it feels like. I'm going to turn over and I'm going to draw a tree trunk shape. Now, I'm saying tree trunk shape because I don't mean lollipop shape, I mean tree trunks, and branches come out of the tree trunk, they're not stuck on here. So I cut this out fairly roughly because on the whole the bark of trees is fairly rough, and I've drawn on the back of the material so that when we turn over and stick it down we can't see the pen marks. We don't want to be distracted, We want the viewers, the person who's looking at the picture needs to think about the shape and texture. Okay, so we've got a tree trunk. Now I'm just going to put that there for the moment without sticking anything down. I'm trying to think now about the leaves, and I found an old magazine which is absolutely full of pictures with lots of green in, and when you think about leaves there aren't many straight lines in a leaf, but there are lots of fairly rough lines. So what I'm thinking is, what I might do is rip this magazine up. So I'm not using scissors, I'm deliberately ripping this up so we get an interesting edge here. And I can keep ripping this up. Look, even real leaves in this one. Keep ripping this up so I can create this leafy background. And I've got a straight edge there. I don't want that. I want these ripped edges, Ripped edges, much more in keeping with nature. Even when the actual original picture isn't something very natural at all, but it'll suit me in terms of colour, Green trees. Oh, I found a bit of old piece of artwork here that I could use, which is kind of blues and greens. There it is. Here's another picture with a green bit of sea in it. Like that. Even this lady's cardigan. So I'm ripping out pieces. Now this is interesting because it says on here 200,000 new native trees estimated at Abernethy thanks to natural regeneration. I like that. I can't see any possible reason why we can't include a little bit of text in our tree. Why not? There it is. The equivalent of 10 tonnes of carbon dioxide emitted per person per year, the UK estimated average. Oh dear. So I'm going to put that in as well. Nice green. Not only a green colour, but a green statement. Here's some more green on this page in the magazine. And actually, I think it just adds a little bit of delight to a picture if there are words in it. So you can see how I could start sticking these bits down. So I think I'll get on with that. that is just our starting point. So you can see the strength of collage here, can't you? You've got all sorts of different interesting edges. Sometimes they're smoother, and sometimes they're rougher. You've got lots of interesting different sorts of textures. Now the texture that we get on the trunk of the tree is completely different from the textures that you get in the fruit or the foliage or on the sun or along the ground. How far can you take this? So this week I've asked you to produce a collage showing the tree of life. Very interesting subject, the tree of life. It's a symbol, or it's a way of talking about nature and how we are all connected with nature, or at least how we all should be. Next week we're going back to drawing again. Until then, bye-bye.